Yo, Joe got AIDS again. Or something. I don't really know at this point. It's kind of funny, right? You see this headline, he tests positive for the Coof, yet again returns to isolation. It's funny, he just tested once positively now, okay, after he had just recently recovered, and whatever the gestation period is, I can't even begin to remember all the different protocols that are out there when it comes to this stuff, so whatever it's supposed to be, I thought it's supposed to be fine 3 days after recovery or whatever, right? He passed a couple of different, in quick succession, a couple of tests came back negative, and then all of a sudden, all it takes is one positive test, and then that just breaks the streak, and then he can go off for another 5-day long weekend. Very convenient, considering he has two massive spending bills, one that passed, one that didn't, and yeah, instead of having to answer for anything in any of those bills, yeah, he's just gonna decide to, I don't know, go hang out in an empty boardroom or something dumb like that. But I don't know, do you guys need a little bit of background on this or something? Oh, right, I guess there's a rebound. Oh my god, all of these redefinitions, I feel like I'm on crazy pills over here. Oh my gosh, I'm really regretting not getting the jab or anything like that, so I wouldn't have to go through Rebound. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. President Joe Biden tested positive for the Coof again on Saturday morning. Great, wonderful. Rolled out of bed at the crack of 11 and then coughed into a little stick and it went, Mr. President, it's time to go back to Delaware. How adorable. Dr. Kevin O'Connor, good Irish kid. The White House physician said in a letter that it's a rare rebound case that usually is observed in a small percentage of patients treated with Paxlovid. What? I've never heard of this before in my life. It's kind of like Joe Biden's stutter when he turns 75 years old and his brain fucking shit the bed. I guess this is a rare thing for incompetent old fucking presidents, okay? Because I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Trump probably got treated with something like this, and I don't remember any rebound cases that are out there. Oh, it's a small percentage of people. Oh, yeah, sure it is. Paxlovid is recommended by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention for early stage treatment to mild to moderate the Coof among high-risk patients. Yes, elderly old fucks. The Coof rebound has been reported to occur between 2 to 8 days after initial recovery. So that's what? Okay, listen. So he's got what? 4 needles. He's caught it. Okay. And then he took a litany of very expensive medicine at not Cedarside. Is that where he went? No. The really fancy hospital in Maryland. I wonder if he took anything that could be misconstrued as being just generic horse paste. I wonder if that would have worked out well for him. No evidence shows that additional treatment is needed for the so-called Coof rebound cases. So is it a false positive? Is it a real case? If you don't need to treat it, is it even there? If a president of his advanced age falls and trips in Wilmington, Delaware, is anybody going to care? Okay, I can already hear Kamala cackling off in the distance. But let's take a look at some of these bills that he's passed. They're at least the House and the Senate, and that they're just waiting for him on his desk when he eventually ever gets back, or who even knows at this point. 2 different bills. We're going to start with the one that did pass, after all. I said I'd be going over it soon, and man, you see this pop up in the news just like a random positive test. Might as well talk about all this stuff. So Democrats' reconciliation bill would have 0 impact on inflation. Yes, this is the stop inflation bill, or whatever the fuck they want to call it, right? It's $369 million in order to stave off $30 billion of inflation. How does that work? Well, you just ask the Wharton Business School, like an Ivy League business school, the business school that Trump graduated from, and the one that also went through all of Joe Biden's economic policies, okay, his entire economic recovery plan when he was running for president. And they said that, yeah, man, this shit ain't fucking any good. It's not going to help anybody. It's going to create 0.0% jobs. And they're just telling you the fucking facts at this point, okay? So the Democrats' marquee bill to reduce inflation. You know how you stop inflation? You stop fucking printing money. Jesus, it's that fucking simple. Would likely have 0 impact on inflation, according to a study by the influential Penn-Wharton budget model. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin unveiled the Inflation Reduction Act. There we go. Which they claim would combat climate change, extend enhanced Obamacare subsidies, and reduce the budget deficit by roughly $300 billion. Right. Okay. Okay, so it would reduce the budget deficit by roughly 300 billion. I heard 30. Okay, but 300, that's great. Wonderful. How much does it cost? 369 billion. Huh. Okay. And how much money did you go ahead and ship off to Ukraine again? Yeah, just wondering. Okay. But again, what is that? Okay, so you got your green policies. Remember when it was so stupid? It's like, oh, AOC, you and your Green New Deal, all of that stuff. It's just so goofy. You get out of here and then rustle up her hair and let her go get complimented on the steps of the Capitol by some crazy old comedian. Oh, you get out of here and take your policy and fucking hide it under your fucking titties and your ass. Whatever the fuck you want to do with it. It doesn't really much matter. Just push it off and say that it's nonsensical. That'll never come to fruition. And guess what? Here we are. Ugh. Manchin has hopped on the need to curb inflation since he blocked the multi-trillion-dollar Build Back Better Act. Now, the country in recession and Americans continuing to reel from inflation, Manchin hopes the legislation could curb inflation. He hopes. Oh, great. Wonderful. Okay, shouldn't you know if you're going to be voting on it? Yeah, I hope it does. It says it in the name of the bill, okay? Inflation Reduction Act, okay? So that means it's going to drop inflation, right? Lord have mercy. But the Penn-Wharton budget model has poured cold water on the allegations disinflationary effects on the Democrats' reconciliation bill. John Huntley and John Rico wrote that the bill would reduce non-interest cumulative deficits by $248 billion over the budget window with no impact on GDP in 2031. Oh, great. So over the next 3 or 9 years, or if we're talking fiscal years, over the next 10 years, yeah, fuck all. Zero, zilch, nothing. The impact of inflation is statistically indistinguishable from zero. Wow. So it is living supporters of Joe Biden percentile range we're looking here. Unbelievable. It's $52 billion less than the deficit reduction than according to a one-page summary of the bill offered by Democrats. The Congressional Budget Office has yet to produce an estimate. Oh, great, wonderful. Already passed it and all. We're getting ready to pass it. Whatever, they're using the reconciliation process to just go ahead and shovel it through. So whenever Joe recovers on all that shit, he can go ahead and sign this fucking nonsensical shit. Study also found the extended Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies would reduce the incentive to work. Oh, great, wonderful, fantastic. So you're just purposefully killing off the economy, but it's going to reduce inflation. You fucking retards. Manchin and Schumer said in a joint statement on Wednesday, that the bill would aim to pay down America's debt and curb inflation. That's great. You can also do that by stimulating economic growth, and then with all the tax that you get, okay, you can use that to pay down the deficit. That would be great. Oh, no, you're just going to print more money. Big think. It is past the time for America to begin paying down our $30 trillion national debt and get serious about the record inflation that is crushing the wages of American workers, which are driving up on purpose. In practical terms, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 would dedicate hundreds of billions of dollars to deficit reduction by adopting a tax policy that protects small businesses and working class Americans. Oh my fucking god, this is nonsense. Well, ensuring the large corporations and don't you say it. Large corporations and ultra wealthy pay. Fuck off. I'm not even finishing that line. You guys already know what it is. Or if you're reading along, you can read along as well. But that is fucking cancer. You want everybody to go ahead and chip in when it comes to taxes. Get rid of the ultra complicated tax code. 15% flat tax. That'll go ahead and solve a whole bunch of problems. But you don't want to do that because everybody who's in power takes advantage of the tax code. Yep. Exactly. So, yeah, this one's going to be passing here right quickly, I guess, or some shit like that. But whatever, man. They're going to spend it one way or another. And they were trying to get through another massive fucking bill. Okay. A $400 billion bill. Okay. They care about inflation, right? Exactly. But it was called the PACT Act, right? And it was being pushed as being the, all of those burn pits over in Afghanistan or Iraq. It was making soldiers sick and they can't get health care or something like that. That's the way that it was being pushed, right? These burn pits are a big problem. I don't doubt that they are, okay? Just why do you need $400 billion in order to do that? well, because the bill was stuffed with more pork than Amy Schumer. Okay, like this was that's a governmental double talk. Okay, we're just trying to help the soldiers, and the mean Republicans are just not allowing us to do that. See, they don't actually care about the country; they just want veterans to die. Not quite, not quite. And guess who took the bait on that one? One of the most overrated, unfunny motherfuckers I've ever seen in my entire life. Jon Stewart. I never liked The Daily Show, never watched The Daily Show. I've went back to watch old clips just to make sure that I wasn't wrong about that situation, and I just went and reaffirmed my stance that it is one unfunny fuck. And now he's just continued to sully his legacy with whoever were his fans back in the day by just taking any bait that is thrown out there. Okay, so he wanted to hop on there and hopped on Twitter, the internet, or I don't know, from his fucking luxury office in a high-rise somewhere with a lot of armed guards and just yell at Republicans by saying, I don't know, probably a whole bunch of cancerous shit. And then Jack Posobiec just decided to be Jack Posobiec about it and provide the receipts about how the old Daily Show boy was completely wrong on everything. You'd mention his current show that's out there, but nobody declined to pass the PACT Act this week. Comedian and pundit. Is he funny? Well, his takes are, if you read them a certain way. Jon Stewart blasted what he termed voting against veterans. It's so fucking easy, dude. It's like the don't say gay bill. Oh, Florida Republicans just want to kill off the gay people. Exactly. Senators weren't voting against veterans. They were voting against a random $400 billion bill that had... $400 billion that had snuck into the bill. It just magically snuck in there. Oh, how did that get in there? I don't even know. Posobiec took a look at the bill, which was passed in June, but then required to put up for a revote in the House, made a change to the legislation. The change in the bill, up for a vote before the Senate, according to the Congressional Budget Office, was to the tune of $400 billion in completely unrelated spending. Yep, no, exactly. See, they really, really, really care about reducing inflation. They really care about stimulating economic growth because it's not a recession that's going on right now. It's just a thing that the grown-ups will take care of. Don't you pay attention to that. Wouldn't you rather watch a reality TV show? Get the fuck out of here. Posobiec cited Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey, who said that his concerns about the bill has nothing to do with the purpose of the bill. It is not about the $280 billion, approximately $280 billion of new spending that is meant to be required under this bill for the Veterans Administration. That's what the VA stands for? I thought it was association. Anyways, whatever. To cover health care and other benefits for veterans who are exposed to toxic burn pits. In response, Joseph Hinkman, who authored the book on burn pits, said, Jack is right, everyone would have voted for it if the Dems didn't put in an additional $400 billion in additional spending to the bill that has nothing to do with the burn pits. It was a political move in an election year. Yeah, no, exactly. It's one of those things because when did that initially get passed? I can't quite remember. The ability for Democrats or anybody in Congress to just earmark some spending and then just put everything back in. That was removed during the Trump administration, but it was brought back for Joe Biden because guess what? The adults are back in the room. I want to change something, Toomey continued. Has absolutely nothing to do with any of that. Toomey said he expects that there were 85 votes for the bill if the issue was remedied. I would imagine so, right? But again, that's a lot of fucking money that's out there. A lot of money on the line. And if you need that much in order to address this one specific situation, that's fine. And if it's all accounted for, that's excellent, okay? Veterans should definitely be taken care of, okay? You put your life on the line for the country should be looking after you. Service guarantees citizenship. Totally fine with that, okay? That issue, he said, is completely unrelated to the $280 billion, I would imagine, okay, in new spending. That is the mechanism created in this bill, a budgetary gimmick that is intent on making it possible to have a huge explosion in unrelated spending of $400 billion. This budgetary gimmick, he went on, is so unrelated to the actual veterans issues that has to do with burn pits. It's not even in the House version of the bill. In fact, that we can fix this tonight. Toomey urged his Democratic colleagues to remove the unrelated spending. Blasey. Texas Senator Ted Cruz, somebody who I like a little bit more than Pat Toomey. Then again, Pat Toomey's retiring and he's terrible. saying, John, you're a funny guy. Oh my God, Ted, I'm trying to big you up, and then you say something stupid like that. Come on now. And I appreciate your engaging on issues of public policy. That's a good thing. But if you're gonna do so, facts matter. No, he's telling his truth, and that's what's important. Listen, when it comes to the PACT Act, I support the PACT Act. I voted for the PACT Act. PACT Act, PACT Act, PACT Act. It kind of sounds like an abomination version of Pac-Man, but hey man, at least that one's more fun. And I've advocated this for a long time, and we have the obligation to take care of our veterans, particularly those wounded and injured from burn pits and any other ways of combat. Adorable. The issue here, Cruz continued, is Democrats, including in this bill, are accounting gimmicks in which they took $400 billion from spending, discretionary spending, and shifted it to the mandatory spending. Didn't change the amount at all. Let me be clear. I support every single penny of the $679 billion of fundings for veterans' health care. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, like, if that's all accounted for and that's the proper spending, that's a lot of fucking money. Jesus Christ. That could be another deep dive for another day, but what did Stewart have to say about all this fucking nonsense anyways? Oh, he went on and just ranted for 10 minutes. Wow, that's far longer than he ever did on his own show when it wasn't scripted. How adorable. Saying the GOP senators didn't care about vets. Of course not. So ain't this a bitch? Stewart said after the vote. America's heroes who fought in our wars outside sweating their asses off with oxygen, battling any kinds of ailments. Oh my God, those motherfuckers can sit in an air conditioning waffled from any of it. What does this have to do specifically with the Republicans, you fucking idiot? Posobiec ripped into another fabrication propagated by Stewart earlier this year. Posobiec wrote, he claimed he never called Harry Potter anti-Semitic, and he caught it changing the YouTube videos after the controversial went viral. Wow. Hilarious. And yet, Jon Stewart continues to be a leading voice of the left, I guess. I keep wanting to say right, but that doesn't make any goddamn sense. He's one of those people, okay? He's kind of like the establishment types who just always cherry picks Bill Maher's opinions. Oh man, he's on the left, and even he sees how insane this stuff is. And lefties, out of touch lefties, continue to prop up Jon Stewart because, oh man, you know what? He was on that scripted comedy show, and he was really telling the facts as they were, man. He made the news enjoyable. No. He created this entire news entertainment spin cycle that we've been in for a very long time. I hold him accountable for the blatant lies of mass media, just like he's trying to hold Republicans accountable for not funding health care for veterans. Get fucked, you little cunt. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.